keep discipline, don't get deal heat. So at the moment now, we've been doing quite a lot of viewings, analysing quite a lot of deals and so on. And you can, obviously, especially in the early days, suffer from what investors call deal heat. So it's you're that enthusiastic or that energized to get a deal over the line, maybe to obviously get the keys in your hand, that you're willing to possibly sacrifice some of your investment criteria. We've got to remain disciplined. I know I say that a lot, really, but it all boils down to the maths, the numbers, the pounds, shillings, and pence. Again, if you're maintaining that discipline, you will be successful. So we're analysing a few deals now for our next HMO. There were some 2 beds, 4 beds that could be the 2 bed could be easily created to 4, maybe 5 beds, so like a mini more. The one that we saw recently is already, I think it was a 4 bed, one, two, three, yeah, 4 beds. 2 are in the attic, all converted and so on, proper staircase going up. That could be converted to a 5 or a 6 bed. So when you're excited and when you want to obviously purchase your first property or your next property, or you want to get to a landmark, like this is going to be my fifth property, or this is going to be my 10th property, or this is going to make my passive income go from 2,000 to 3,000 or 8,000 to 10,000, whatever it is. Sometimes, and I'm speaking from experience here, you can suffer from what we call deal heat, where you're just willing to think, right, well, fudge the numbers a little bit. So the refurb won't cost 43,000. We might bring it in at 37. Um, we will put this offer in, but we will go a couple of £1,000 extra on the purchase price and so on. And it's going to take 4 months, when really it'll take 6 months and so on. So as soon as you start to blur the lines with those type of decisions, that's when money, thousands of pounds, can just slip through your hands. So we need to be clear on, again, the pounds, shillings, and pence. How much is this refurb going to cost? How much, if it's a HMO, how much are the fire doors, the FD30s or FD60s? How much is the boiler? How much is going to be the water cylinder? How much is it to plumb each and every room? Because the HMOs in our area, they all need a sink in their rooms with access to hot water and so on. So there's lots of things there you need to contend with. How much are the fire alarms? So with that now, refurbs can go, it can go quickly out of hand. The roof as well, it wasn't really easily accessible to see what the roof was like, just because how close the other houses were and so on. So how much are you going to budget for that? Are you going to only budget £2,500? Are you going to budget five? Is the roof an up and over, or is it a little bit more of a tricky one? Do I need to budget 7.5? Do I need to budget 10? So again, things can quickly escalate. So what we urge all mentees to do, again, we touched on this briefly in the Black Belt Property Accelerator, but definitely in the academy, we need to keep that discipline. We need to make sure that we're obviously not getting our emotions tied. We're looking at it on a piece of paper. What does this look like on an Excel spreadsheet? How much does everything cost on, a scale of bringing it in all on budget, going over budget 10%, going over budget on 20%, and so on, and having a look at it that way. No deal is better than a bad deal. One of my mentors taught me that years ago. Don't be convinced that just because you've got keys in your hand that it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. You're always better waiting for another deal, because when you get more and more advanced, you'll be able to notice deals that maybe other people won't notice, the ones that are further down on their investment journey. So money, it's a real investor pain point, really, and the more you spend on the property, the more obviously you're going to struggle to pull out of the property, depending again what you're looking to achieve. Is it a B triple R? Are you going to flip the property? Is it going to be, if you're keeping hold of it, are you going to put it on a full 3 to 5 year full repairing and insuring lease with a local housing, or a reputable housing provider? Are you looking to go down the private rented sector and so on? If you are you going to look to then manage it yourself or outsource it? So from there now, deal heat is an important thing that we need to understand, and it just pulls back to that discipline. What am I looking to achieve with my property investing journey? What am I looking to achieve with this particular property? Is it for that lump of cash via a flip? Is it for that lump of cash via BRRR refinance? Is it for just to make sure that I'm protecting my money somewhat, and if I can get a bit of passive income each and every month? So again, it depends on your why, and I mentioned that a lot really. So just again, I can't stress this one enough. When it's to do with money, you must be looking at it on a spreadsheet or however or not you track your figures, and then go for that. Okay. When it's to do with emotions and so on, then we need to be listening to your gut and so on. But when it comes down to bricks and mortar and you and your property investing journey, we need it always to be pounds, shillings, and pence. How much I'm going to put into this? How much is the refurb? How much is the stamp duty? How much my legals? What about if it goes over time? What about if it goes over budget? How close am I going to be to the line in thinking, right, I'm really, really risking this now? Those are all things that we need to bring into our due diligence really at the start of the property journey. And never, again, I mentioned this at the start, never ever fudge your figures, thinking that you're going to bring in the refurb below budget. It's going to be brought in on time, and you're going to get the refinance figure that you want. There might be a change in the market. Again, have a look at some of the blogs I've put before on my website. So if you're a professional investor, a black belt investor, we're always going to separate financial decisions from emotional ones. So you might see, again, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or anything like that, you might see those pictures of people like this with the keys and so on. Fantastic, well done, brilliant. We're always going to advocate stuff like that. But have we just picked up the keys to a money pit, or have we picked up the keys to something that's going to hopefully be a true asset and put money in your pocket each and every month, not take money out of your pocket liability style each and every month? Okay. Of course, property isn't always up, it's definitely not. But if you're looking to keep in it for the long run, you're thinking about that long-term vision, then it will help build your wealth. All right. So if you have a look at any rich list or any wealthy people over the years, that will always have something to do, 99% of the time, 95% of the time, they'll have something to do with property, real estate, and so on. So yeah, just a quick one there. Deal heat. If you've never heard about it before, it's where you could be just wanting to sacrifice your standards, sacrifice your investing criteria just to get a deal over the line. And sometimes what normally happens is the longer the negotiation period, that's where people start to sacrifice things really, because they just want to draw a line underneath it. You need to be clear, and I'll link this across to auction purchases. I don't think I've ever done a video on that. Just like at the auction purchases, you need to make sure you do not go over your top line bid. All right, just because you might feel that you don't want there's going to be that fear of missing out. Okay, you don't want the other person to have the property because you've got your eyes on it. You've got to make sure it's cut off at whatever number you've decided based on your due diligence. So don't suffer from deal heat. Keep yourself disciplined. Keep investing in this. That's going to pay the best return ever. Okay. So again, and nobody can take that away from you. And so far, you can't get taxed on what's up here. So far, okay. Who knows? But hopefully, if you enjoyed this video, you're already a subscriber. If not, subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date. We'll put out 2 videos a week. And maybe again, if you're looking to transform, not just go on a course for information dump. If you're looking to transform your direction and obviously your portfolio, then apply for the Black Belt Property Accelerator or the Black Belt Property Academy. We'll review applications individually each week. So again, apply, answer the questions as honestly as you can, and then obviously somebody will get back to you. All right, take care, good luck, all the best, and keep putting one foot in front of the other. All the best.